So I'm making a dessert pie that I wanted to have a sauce over the top of with strawberries. And I really like this Danish dessert. It's pretty difficult to find. I'm living in Utah now and you can find it. But in California, you never could find it. So I don't know wherever you live. I've looked on Amazon and the price jumped up quite a bit to get it. And so I am going to make this up. This one you just add water and thicken it. Everything else is in the ingredients. So and same amount of water as what I'm using for this. So I've found a few recipes that kind of combined a little bit of making your own Danish dessert. So I'm going to try 2 different kinds of that, and then I'm going to make this up, not on camera. I'll just make one up because they're all similar. And then we're going to have a taste test and see if we can't tell the difference. If we can, what we find.
Okay.
So so I'm going to make one of the homemade ones. So in it, there's just 1/3 cup of water, and I've also mixed in, this is clear gel.
Is that 1/3 cup of sugar or water?
Oh, excuse me, there's no water at this point.
Okay.
So it's 1/3 cup of sugar and 1/4 cup of clear gel. Now, if you've not used clear gel, it's a little more expensive, but it's a thickener that it cooks clear. That's why it's clear gel, and it's a nice product. So I'm gonna mix the sugar and the clear gel together, and then I'm putting in 1/2 package of strawberry Kool-Aid. Now I tried to weigh it out. It's 0.14 ounces, and so it wouldn't even register on the scale. So I measured it, and the whole package is about 2 teaspoons. So I'm putting 1 teaspoon in here, and a little bit of it's for the flavor and for the color.
Can I ask you a question about the clear gel?
Mm-hmm.
I know it comes in 2 types, an instant kind and the kind you cook.
Yes.
Which kind is this? Does it matter?
It does matter. If you're cooking it, you
Okay.
use the cooking kind. The other one is kind of cool because it thickens without cooking.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes, but wherever you're cooking, sometime later I'm gonna make a bottled apple pie filling, and I use the cooking clear gel, and it's really nice.
Yeah, that works
but
real
you
well.
have to use the cooking when
Yes.
you're gonna cook it.
And that's true in this case too.
Yes, because I'm cooking and I made a little mess here. So what I'm doing is I'm putting all the dry ingredients together so that it makes it smoother. It kind of mixes it all together so one item won't clump. And then I'm just going to add, I just spilled all over your stove here.
Right.
I'm going to add 1.5 cups, no, 1 3/4 cup of water. And just stir it in. And it stirs, it dissolves very easily. You don't need a whisk or anything. And now I'm just going to, is this the right one?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go fairly high because I'm gonna be stirring it, but not to the highest. Okay. I just started stirring this, and I can hear it starting to cook. And you'll notice, well, you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's thickening.
Yeah.
It thickens really fast.
Wow, it sure does.
All right.
So this is about as thick as I want
Try
it.
this way to do that and drill it.
See how, yeah. So this is done.
Okay.
Well,
So
that
turn
was
that off.
fast.
Yeah, so turn it
Wow.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm
And
gonna
that's the
show.
homemade version that's so fast.
Yeah.
Man.
So, and see, it's a
Oh, that's
pretty color.
pretty.
So now I'm gonna quickly make the one we're using cornstarch. And so this is 1/3 cup of sugar and 1/4 cup of cornstarch mixed together. So it's just put in 1/3 cup of sugar and a quarter of a cup of cornstarch. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon or a half a pack of strawberry Kool-Aid. You can use whatever flavor you want. So the only difference between the last one I did and this one is I'm using cornstarch instead of clear gel. Yeah, started to say Sure Gel and clear gel are not the same product.
Yes.
So I'm stirring that to make sure I don't get lumps. Stir all the dry ingredients together and then add a cup and 3/4 water.
So you said any flavor of Kool-Aid would work, which it would, but traditionally Danish dessert is red.
And I like, because I'm using strawberry. If I can get
Yes.
strawberry, I'll use strawberry. So
Like lime might take people back, but it would work.
Is this right?
okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's better.
So I am going to show you this cooking app. When I'm doing this, it goes pretty fast. I took foods class in college, and there was one lab where you had a cooking class and you had the lab, and each week there was only about 6. There were all women in the class. There was about 6 of us, and so we'd have to taste things and describe it, and textures and all that kind of stuff. Well, one day we went in and there were just all these different kind of jellos, and we're supposed to explain the flavor. And so most of them was easy. You could tell cherry, you could tell orange, you could tell all of them except for this one. It was a red jello, and it was just a different flavor. And I thought, well, maybe it's something like strawberry without a real strong flavor. And I think that's what I put down. It turned out that all 6 of us were wrong. There was all different guesses, but it was just lime jello dyed red.
Oh,
And you couldn't identify
No, it was because your brain was seeing the color.
the red.
And even though lime is such a strong flavor,
Yeah.
because it was red,
Oh,
That is so interesting.
So-
And everyone missed it.
yeah, there was not one right answer, no. I think that's the whole reason she did the thing, because who really cares how the
Yeah.
jellos taste?
Right.
Okay. You'll see once it starts, boy, now this is with the cornstarch, maybe it takes a little longer. I don't really know. This
It's
is
a good experiment, so
testing.
we'll know.
Yeah.
Is it, you have it on high?
It's on 9,
No, oh, yeah, that's good.
so it's,
Which is exactly where the other one started.
Oh, yeah.
so. Once it starts simmering, it goes fast. But the Danish dessert you have to cook too.
Same thing.
So, yeah. So if it
Other
tastes
than
similar,
minimal amount of
yeah.
measuring, that's all
Yeah.
the only difference.
Yeah.
Because you still have to measure the water too.
yeah.
Yeah?
So and it's just those 3 ingredients. Now that I know that a packet of Kool-Aid is about 2 teaspoonfuls, then you know.
What? Yes.
Okay, it's already thickening here,
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
and
That
so
is
it looks
fast.
similar. We'll see how it tastes. It's not quite as clear, but I don't know if you can see it. It's
As
just
the
as
clear gel?
as the clear
Yeah,
gel.
you can.
But here is this product,
Yeah.
and I did the same amount of Kool-Aid in each of these.
Wow.
It'll be interesting to compare the flavors.
Yeah. Okay. Now we'll come back with the last one. Whoops. Okay. Okay. So I've already made the homemade versions of the Danish dessert. I did one, same ingredients. I did it with 1/3 of a cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon or which is a half packet of the Kool-Aid mix. Strawberry Kool-Aid's what I used. And one, I did 1/4 of a cup of clear gel, and the other one I did 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch. So now I'm going to show you the store-bought Danish dessert. It should say scissors needed, not included. So I'm just putting the powdered, and I don't know, The package does say it uses, it has cornstarch in it and a bunch of other flavors. So I'm just gonna put that in. And same amount of water, 1 3/4 cups of water. It smells and looks similar. We'll just see here. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna do the taste test. One of these, and I kind of labeled the bottom, so I don't know, we might could tell a little bit. But they're all, one is the Danish Dessert, the packaged dessert, thank you, junket Danish dessert. And the other two are a homemade Danish dessert, one using clear gel and one using cornstarch. So let's just start with this one here.
Okay.
Let's take a little spoon. Okay, let's do this one next. Here's water to cleanse our palate. Okay, let's do this one next. So this was one. It seems to be about the same thickness. This might be a little thicker, huh? So this is the first one, the second one.
The
Tastes
flavors
quite
are different and they're both good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the final one.
Oops.
I forgot to cleanse my palate.
What's your opinion, Bonnie?
I didn't like the first one.
You what?
I did
Didn't
not like
like-
the first one. It had a different taste.
Mm-hmm.
These were both very similar. I think I could like either one of those.
I think I preferred this one, but this one was similar. And with you, I like this one better than this one.
Yeah. And this one had actually a little more flavor than that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a little more.
It's a little deeper.
This is the third one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little deeper. This one, a little deeper flavor.
Okay. I hate to upset everything, but I preferred the first one. I loved the flavor.
Oh.
It seemed like the second one wasn't quite so discernible, and I didn't like the third
Oh,
one.
you didn't. Okay. Well, let's see what
Okay.
the first is. Okay. This is the one with the clear gel.
That one, the first one?
Yeah, the first one
Okay.
is clear gel, and I can kind of see it's more clear than this one.
Yeah.
Well, it's about as this one's about as clear as that one. So I suspect this one is the one with the cornstarch. I wonder why the flavor was so different. I wonder if it's a varying amount of the.
Well, I wonder if the cornstarch changes the flavor, because it
Maybe.
was identical
Yeah.
Kool-Aid
Yeah.
in each one.
A teaspoon, but you know, one could have been a little more. I didn't
Yeah.
weigh it out because
So
it would weigh.
which
So this
one?
is a
Cornstarch?
clear
Oh, clear
gel,
gel,
yeah.
cornstarch.
Cornstarch.
So this means that
Must
this
be the-
is the
That's the one I
purchase
didn't
one
like.
when you didn't like. So they're actually I don't think if you just used any of them, you'd notice a big difference.
I would not, because we were comparing them, but I actually liked all three of
yeah,
them.
they
But
taste.
this one was my least favorite.
Well, because you usually don't take a spoonful. It's
Right.
like strawberries or something. Yeah, Danish dessert. Interesting.
Yeah.
But they look pretty similar. This is a little more runny than these two.
Yeah.
But if you
that's
like it more runny, use a little more water.
true.
Right?
Yeah. So.
Or if you like it thicker, cook it a little longer.
Yeah, that's right. But I am surprised at how similar they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
It
can
was
make
good.
a little cheesecake tart and put a little of that on top.
I think they're all three very useful. I can see using it as a strawberry glaze.
Yes, yes, yeah. You know, and I this was easier, but not that much easier to go to the store and try to find
not
this.
really.
So this, I probably would use I just use the cornstarch. But
Because
you
you're more
prefer this
likely.
one, yeah.
I did prefer that. It seemed like it was the flavor carried better for me. I could really taste
taste the flavor. So,
So
and I actually combined several recipes I'd seen online. One, you said use the whole packet of
Kool-Aid.
and I think that would be
A
overpowering.
little strong.
And
Yes.
one said a third of a package, and so I went with half.
So people are more likely to have cornstarch
Yes.
than that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's close enough. I wouldn't go out and buy. I have it because there's some recipes I really like it in.
Yes.
This I don't think it matters.
This
Yeah.
is thicker than both of them.
This one is
No,
the
that one
clear
is
gel
yeah, clear gel.
looks thicker.
So the cornstarch cheaper and readily available.
Yes.
And so if you like
If you
whatever you like.
If you wanted that thicker, could you cook it longer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know that it changes that much cooking it longer.
After
as
the
much
water
as-
evaporates
yeah.
from it, it does
It
thicken
probably, but after you use it, I'd just use a little less water, because then you wouldn't have to keep
After the
cooking
first
it.
recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just,
So
you know,
you
and
can adjust the water.
if you're making a strawberry pie, you might want it thicker, but if you're doing it as a glaze, you might
Yes,
want it a little thinner.
Yeah.
And I think at this point it could add just a little bit of liquid. I don't think I mentioned that you could also use fruit juice for any. This says on this
in place of
package
the
water
water.
or fruit juice.
Or fruit juice.
So if that helps your flavoring somehow.
So this gives you all different ways to go for desserts too, because this would be a delicious strawberry shortcake to just put fresh strawberries in and put it over a shortcake.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
soon
would be
I'm going to post one. It's just a no bake cheesecake with strawberries,
Yeah,
and we'll
that would be
choose one of
delicious.
these to do it on, and so we'll do that taste test soon.
Okay.
Thank you. I really am glad to know this. So all the times I've bought jars of strawberry glaze, it's a total waste of money.